Have you ever wondered what actually causes people to move? Because most people think it's about the interest rates or home prices or the market. But the truth is, most moves happen because of life. In real estate, there's a simple framework for this, and it's called the 7 Ds. They are death, divorce, diapers, diamonds, distance, degrees, and downsizing. These are the major life changes that push people into their next chapter. And behind almost every move, one of these 7 Ds is usually at play. So whether you're a homeowner thinking about a move, or you're just curious about why people really buy and sell, this is something worth understanding. Hi, I'm Jamie Herring, a Chicago suburban realtor with Coldwell Banker Realty, and let's get into the 7 Ds. The 7 Ds are one of the simplest ways to understand real estate because at the end of the day, real estate is not really about houses. It's about people. It's about life changes, transitions, hard moments, exciting moments, and everything in between. People usually don't wake up one day and randomly decide to move for no reason. Usually something's changed. So let's walk through the 7 Ds, and you'll probably recognize at least one from your own life or someone close to you. Let's start with the hardest one first, death. When someone passes away, the home is still there. The bills are still coming, the decisions are there, and the memories are there. And often family members are left trying to figure out what happens while they're so deeply grieving. Do they keep the house? Do they sell it? Was it inherited by someone or multiple people? Can anyone afford to keep it? These are emotional situations, and they're rarely simple. It's very complicated. A home tied to a loss often carries years and sometimes decades of memories. So selling it is not just a financial decision, it's a deeply personal one. If you're going through something like this, give yourself some grace. Please do not make quick decisions. Do not immediately put the house on the market. Take your time. Foreclosure is a long process, all right? So it's gonna be a long time where something like that comes up. So as an agent, I'm very empathetic. My job is to listen to the people, and it's not just about the transaction. This is such a difficult chapter, and I've walked through it with many friends and clients. But my biggest tip, when my friends call me or clients call me and say, hey, my dad passed away, if someone else is still in the home and they think they have to sell because they can't afford it, please grieve, take time, and then make a decision down the road. The 2nd D is also pretty heavy. It's divorce. As a kid of divorce, I know firsthand. But this is one of the most common reasons people move. When a couple separates, the home usually becomes one of the biggest issues to work around. You can't just take your name off the title. Usually you have to buy someone out. Do they split the proceeds by selling? Does one person buy the other person out? Who stays and who leaves? The hard part is that real estate decisions are happening at the same time people are under great emotional stress, financial stress, and sometimes legal stress. That's what makes divorce-related moves so complicated. My biggest advice here is simple. Get everything documented. Timelines, expectations, financial arrangements, all of it. Because emotions can shift quickly. You say you're gonna make it easy and get along, and sometimes that doesn't happen. But a paper trail will create clarity. And if our kids are involved, the housing decision becomes even more important. School stability, proximity to both parents, all of those things matter. So this is one of those times where you have to have the right professionals around you who can make a huge difference. Now let's switch gears to something happier. Diapers! Oh, I love being a mom. And this one represents growing families, new babies, and the moment people realize their current home may not fit the life they're building. A 1-bedroom condo may have felt perfect a few years ago in the newlywed stage, but once a baby is on the way, and babies bring so much stuff, I can't tell you how much, your apartment will seem this big. So you may need more bedrooms, a bigger yard, more storage, parks, safety, and of course schools as they get older. This is one of the biggest drivers behind move-up buyers. And when people realize in this stage, they're usually not just buying for today, they're buying for the next 5 to 10 years. That's why I always think it's smart to buy for the life you see coming not just the life you have right now. The fourth D, diamonds. You got to put a ring on it. And that could mean engagement or marriage or just a combining of households. It doesn't have to be marriage per se, but let's say there's a ring involved. So this is a huge life event that triggers a big move. Maybe one person owns and the other person rents. Maybe both are renting. Maybe both own a property. So now these two lives are coming together and they have to figure out where are they going to live to build their life together. So this is a very exciting stage. We love working with buyers in this stage, but we also need to slow down, and you and your partner need to have very real financial conversations. Whose name is on the mortgage? Are finances being combined? Is one person bringing more money for the down payment? If it's a second marriage, are there kids or other long-term considerations involved? So while these are not romantic questions, they're very responsible questions. The dream and the planning need to happen together so you can make your next move on the same page. D number 5 is distance, and this is relocation. Maybe it's a job transfer, maybe it's a military move, maybe someone is finally able to work remotely and decides they want a completely different lifestyle in a completely different part of the country. Distance creates urgency because these moves are often tied to someone else's timeline, often a corporate or military timeline. So if a new job starts in 6 weeks and the transfer comes through, a family needs to move across the state or across the country very quickly. So that means you need to sell one home, find another, coordinate moves, schools, work, and everything else all at once. I have done this. We relocated from Wisconsin and Illinois to Texas, and relocation can be very stressful. And the earlier you start, the more time you have for planning. So even if a move is just a possibility, talk through your options early rather than waiting until it becomes urgent. The 6D is degrees, and this one really works two ways. The first is graduation, when someone finishes school and starts their next phase of life. I'm a mom of 2 college students, and I cannot wait to accompany them on that journey of them getting their own place, whether it's renting or buying or moving to a new city or becoming financially independent for the first time and getting off my cell phone bill. It's a major transition point, and for a lot of people, it's the beginning of their real estate story. The second meaning of degrees is when kids get theirs. That's when parents suddenly look around and realize this house feels a lot bigger and a lot quieter than it used to be. The bedrooms are empty, the routines have changed, you don't have to cook a dinner for multiple people, and the home that once made sense may not fit anymore, which naturally leads to the last D. The final D is downsizing. This is such an important conversation, and it's one that more and more people are having right now. Downsizing doesn't just mean moving into a smaller house. It often means you're simplifying your life and your lifestyle. Maybe the kids are grown. Maybe stairs are becoming a challenge. I know this firsthand from my own father, who had to move from a 2-story house that they loved into a ranch townhome. But I will tell you that I have heard so many times from my stepmom and my dad that it was a great move for them because it took away that stress of him falling down the stairs. Maybe the maintenance and the yard work feels like too much. I hear this all the time. Maybe people want less house and responsibilities and more time to travel. So for homeowners, especially later in life, downsizing can create flexibility, reduce stress, and free up equity. But emotionally, it can be very hard to move. Because when someone leaves a long-time family home, they're not just leaving a property, they're leaving so many years of memories. And that's why I think the best time to talk about downsizing is before it becomes necessary. When it's still a choice, it feels empowering. When it happens during a crisis, it feels overwhelming. Planning early makes a huge difference. So those are the 7 Ds: death, divorce, diapers, diamonds, distance, degrees, and downsizing. And when you really look at the heart of real estate and you look at it through that lens, you realize something important. People don't just move because of houses. They move because life changes. Sometimes those changes are exciting, and sometimes they're painful. Sometimes they're planned, and sometimes they just show up out of nowhere. I know that firsthand when my husband said, "So, what do you think about moving to Texas?" But almost every move is tied to a transition. And I think that by understanding that approach with real estate, it makes us a little more empathetic, have a little bit better perspective, and we have a lot more understanding. Because at the end of the day, real estate is really about helping people move from one chapter of life to the next. Which of the 7 Ds have you experienced, or which one do you think is most common? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoy this real estate video, like and subscribe, and that goes a long way to keep me pushing them out every single week.